Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about the press conference with Conor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. I'm sure you all seen it already. I just want to give you a few of my thoughts. I've already got one video out with these two, and I will be doing some fight breakdowns coming really soon. I'm looking forward to that. Just doing my homework on both of them, and yeah, let's just talk about this press conference. One of the things I really want to get into is these two are almost spitting images of their fathers. You know, if you know anything about the fathers and the press conferences that they have, which were epic, and if you're not familiar with them, please go back and watch those press conferences. This is only going to make you appreciate the press conferences to come with these two, including this one. And it was classic because if you know anything about the fathers, Chris Eubank Sr., he had this nonchalant arrogance about him, and you would have Nigel Benn just kind of spewing on the other side and just angry at the world. And, you know, you just have Eubank kind of talking and talking and talking. And it's the same thing with the sons. Eubank is talking and talking and talking and just being arrogant to the point where he's saying, you know, I don't even really need to train hard. I don't need to train hard. I just need to be 60%. When he said the 60%, it was just like, wow. Now, and then he said he was overweight and, he didn't start training yet. Do I believe that? No. Again, these are mind games. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Chris Eubank Jr. is always in shape. Like, always in shape. So do I believe that this man is not in shape for this fight, which is probably the biggest fight he's ever going to have and probably generate the most amount of money he's ever going to get? Come on. He's obviously in shape. He's obviously in shape. Have you ever seen Chris Eubank Jr. not in shape? No, I've never seen him not in shape. I've never seen him without a six-pack. I've never seen him not in shape. So just the notion that, I haven't started training yet. He trains when he doesn't have a fight. He trains all year round. We know he's in shape. So, but just for him to say, I don't need to train for this. I just need to lose the weight. I don't need to train for him, and saying that. So that's number one. Then he tells him, well, you're still in your father's shadow. This is going to get you out of your father's shadow. But only if you beat me does this get you out of your father's shadow, which is hilarious. And it's just like, and again, Conor verbally can't handle Chris Eubank Jr. like Nigel Benn couldn't handle Chris Eubank Sr. And it's just like a spitting image all over again, which makes this just a fun ride. And this is great for boxing. This is great for both of these guys. This is great for the last name of Ben and Eubank. And it's funny because, Conor's like, well, I'm already out of my dad's shadow. And Chris is like, no, you're not. Like, if you beat me, you will be, but you're not out of your dad's shadow. You haven't done anything. Who have you fought? Who have you fought? You haven't fought anybody. And in all truth and honesty, listen, he's making a little bit of a point. You haven't really fought the upper echelon of fighters, and the guys that you fought who were your biggest names are guys who were technically on their way out of the game. Like Chris Algieri. That's not a big bragging name to put on your resume. It's not. No disrespect to Chris Algieri, but that's not a huge name on your resume. And if that's the best name you got, well, then Chris is correct. Unfortunately, he's correct. I'm sorry, he's correct. So, but you could see that really irritated Ben. Then Chris goes into talking about, because he's older, he said, I saw what my dad went through with his father. And he's like, I gotta put this guy away. I gotta put him away. Like, this is bigger than, a belt or anything else. This is about, our family names. I don't want this loss to go down in history because we as Eubanks all lose if this Ben beats me. And then he goes on to say, this is Nigel Benn's way of getting a win over my father. So he definitely tied to generations, and now it's deeper. Now it's personal. He said it was personal. Now, I don't know how personal it was in Conor Benn's and initially, prior to the fight, but now it's got to be personal. Just the way that he tied it in. And credit to Chris Eubank Jr. He said it really nice. He said it like very clear, and he articulated it very well. And just saying the mental strain, his father went through, and just him being in school and things of that nature. And like I said, the way he articulated it was actually very, very well spoken. And it did kind of make you feel for him, like, yeah, you can't let this guy win, I guess. You can't let this guy win. And, then you have Conor Benn. Always, he's emotional. He's a very emotional guy. And again, just like his father, very emotionally charged fighter. And I'm thinking, dude, he's just playing mind games with you. Do you really think he's not in shape? He's just playing mind games with you. He's telling you that he didn't even start camp yet. He's just playing mind games with you. He's saying he doesn't even need to be in shape. He's saying he only needs to be 60%. I know that in my heart that Chris Eubank Jr. is training his butt off for this fight. I know he is. Because like he said in his own words, this is Nigel Benn's way of getting a win over his father. It's not as if it doesn't even matter about the sons winning or losing. It's still about the fathers. It matters. And if you think he's going to show up unprepared, no, it's not going to happen. He's going to show up prepared. Then he tells Conor, you need to get some sparring partners that are going to beat you up. We're really going to put it on you because I'm going to put it on you. And, listen, have we seen the old Chris Eubank Jr. in a while? No, we haven't seen him, but I think this is the type of fight that will awaken that guy once again. Not only that, I think Conor Benn is the type of fighter that would force that guy to come back out. And Conor's not the type that's going to back up. He's not the type that's going to back up. He doesn't fear what's in front of him. He's used to being the aggressor, and just because he's moving up in weight is not going to make you think he's going to change his mental state, in which I'm typically the aggressor. I'm still going to be the aggressor. And he said it. He said, listen, if there's an opening, I'm taking it. I'm going for a knockout. And, there you go. There you go. I think it's going to be a great fight. This is going to be a fun ride. I cannot wait for this fight. I knew this press conference was going to be what it was, and I think it was beautifully done. I can't wait till the two guys do something like, the gloves are off or something like that, which will give them a little bit more of an intimate setting and also have them seated more closely together, which will be interesting because that's just a whole new dynamic. And there's no promoters around or none present in the shot or anything like that. You just have one guy, Johnny Nelson talking and asking the questions, and it's just a round table, the two guys on opposite ends of each other. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the next press conference. I know at some point we're going to see the fathers present, and I cannot wait. Now, Nigel Benn doesn't have the fire that he used to have, but Chris Eubank Sr. is still Chris Eubank Sr. And I know at some stage, at some point during this promotion, we're going to get Chris Eubank Sr. And you're going to get a show. We are going to get a show. The fans are being treated this fight. I honestly feel like this fight is a treat because it's not about belts or anything else. It's just about treating the fans. It's just about an amazing fight. So yeah, I'm really excited. And one last thing, Chris Eubank said, I don't gain anything. If I beat him, I was bigger than him. If I lose to him, my career is over because I'm not going to be fighting for a belt anytime soon. So my career is over if I lose to him, or, I'm just some has-been, or I never really was if I lose to him. If I beat him, now we're talking about a guy who came up 2 weight classes to fight me. So it doesn't give me much credit also. Because at that point now, he's just a weight bully, and he just beat him up with weight. But the way that you do that, or the way that you compete that, you can do two things. He does train with Roy Jones. He can beat him up every single round like Roy Jones did in his heyday, his prime, would win every single round just to prove, no, I'm absolutely better than you are. 100% I'm better than you. And I beat you every single round to prove that I'm better than you. You never had a moment nor a round in this fight. I'm better than you. Or he goes out there and absolutely steamrolls him. But he can't do it in an aggressive way. And what do I mean by an aggressive way? He can't be like a Sean Porter in there. He can't be too physical. If he can beat him from a distance, if he can beat him with just straight up technique and power, that's different. No wrestling involved, no grappling involved, no over aggressive, pushing or, just any infighting contact like that, because then it's going to be like, oh, look, you're bigger than him and you're knocking him all over the place. Well, you can't give him that credit. So he does make a point, because how is he going to, go for a title at 160? How is he going to try to call out the Canelos of the world or the Charlos of the world, in the Triple G's of the world? And you can't even handle this guy who just moved up from 147, who also fought at 140. You couldn't handle him. Why would we give you a shot? Why would we give you a shot at this title? Who's coming to see that fight, man? Who's going to believe that you have a chance at winning that fight? So he's right. He does have a lot to lose. He really does. He's got a lot to gain financially. And I'm going to say it now. I'm going to predict it now. There will be a rematch. There will definitely be a rematch. Conor Benn is not a lay-down fighter. Chris Eubank Jr., you can say whatever you want about him, love him, hate him, say whatever you want about him. He's got a big mouth, he's a trash talker, he's too arrogant, say whatever you want about him. He comes to fight, he comes in shape, and he's a winner at heart. And he's heavy-handed, he's extremely explosive. You got Conor Benn, he's the destroyer for a reason. He's putting guys down. He's getting more relaxed in his fights. He's a lot more patient nowadays in his fights. And it's setting up knockouts. So there's a lot at stake. There's a lot on the line. And I just can't wait for what comes next. You know what comes next right now. Drop your comments down below. I want to hear what you thought about the press conference. I want to hear your thoughts on who you think is going to win. I want to know if this made you or reminded you of the fathers. Drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel.